Islam my deen, Allah my Lord, His word Quran, Muhammad Prophet, praise be upon, I'm a Muslim for all of time. As I grew up, walking in this great big world, I gazed in awe at the wonders of Allah. And as I learned the cruel lessons of life, Islam shone through as my guiding light.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome, dear viewers from around the world, to another exciting edition of your favorite program, Good Answers. I'm your host Malik, and today I am joined by the founder of Guidance TV. He needs no more introduction than that, Sheikh Yusuf Estes. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Of course, Sheikh, we have the studio audience with us as well. Look at these handsome young guys.
Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah.
Sheikh, we've been, gathering up and collecting some good questions on the streets of the UK. Are you ready to give us a good answer?
They went to the streets in London?
Yeah, all across the UK, and people are asking questions about Islam, Muslims and non-Muslims alike. They want a good, solid, strong answer. Can you give it to them?
We'll find out.
Okay, you guys, let's check out this Vox Pops all the way from the UK.
It's me, Ramesh, and I'm studying here since 2 years ago, and I study in London, Northwest College. And my question is that why the Muslim people, guys have too long beard, like I do have a beard, but it's my interest, but why they just put a long beard, that's it.
MashaAllah, he says, what's up with these Muslims? They have these really long beards. Why? What's up with that, Sheikh Yusuf?
Well, that's a good question. I would ask the question to the person, though. Really? He had a beard.
He had a beard himself.
He had a nice beard. And I guess he's a Muslim, yeah?
He didn't. Did he say that or not? I'm not sure.
Well, he was wearing that Palestinian scarf.
Yeah, he was,
I don't know.
Yeah, he must have been.
That's the style. I heard some women are wearing those now, too. Not Muslims. Well, okay, let's look at what is in Arabic.
Okay.
Because remember, this is an important thing to know what is the Arabic on these issues.
Okay.
It says in Arabic, lahya.
Okay.
Lahya.
Which means?
Lahya.
Okay.
And lahya is understood to be the hair growing out on the face. So let's
okay.
be clear that that's what we're calling beard in English.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now, in Islam, we are told two very basic principles. In your daily life, you can do whatever you would like to do, unless you find an evidence against it.
Okay.
So everything in the daily life is positive. You said, well, gee whiz, can I ride a bicycle in Islam?
Why not?
Unless you find evidence against it. Anything in Islam say you can't ride a bicycle? No.
Go for
Prophet
it.
ﷺ, he rode on every available type of transportation at his time.
Right.
We use that as an evidence that we can use any type of transportation.
Okay.
Even rocket ships.
Fair enough.
All right? Now, what about a microwave oven? Oh, they didn't have that.
We can't use it, Sheikh. It's haram.
Wait a minute. But there's no evidence in Islam against it. So even that new invention, microwave oven, is okay.
Good answer.
But when it comes to worship, all right, everything is forbidden except what you have evidence to do.
Hey, Sheikh, this is the opposite of what you said the first time.
Opposite.
Oh, okay.
So keep that in your mind as we go along.
Okay.
Because your beard, is there any evidence that this is an act of worship, having a beard? No, there's not. Having a beard itself is not an act of worship.
Okay.
Not until we examine Quran. Quran doesn't talk about it. Okay, let it go.
Okay.
But is there something in the hadith? Well, in the narrations that we get from Muhammad, peace be upon him, he's being asked by a companion.
Okay.
In front of the group, he's being asked, what about our facial hair? What about our lihya?
Right. Okay.
Should we cut it to look like this people, those people, the people of Khorasan?
Okay.
In those days, they had these huge mustaches.
I see.
Have you ever seen anybody with
Yes.
a big mustache that really looks weird?
Like, Wild West, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
When they had those big mustaches.
Right.
Okay, that was something Prophet ﷺ told us not to do.
Oh, really?
He told us clearly not to grow those mustaches like that.
Okay.
He didn't like that.
Okay.
The other thing he said was, and this is in Sahih Bukhari, to leave your beard alone. He didn't say grow it.
What's the difference?
Well, if I ask you to grow it,
Right.
Can you do that?
Maybe I can't. Depends on the individual, right?
No. I'm asking you right now. Grow some beard for me.
Oh. Give me a couple of days.
Yeah, no. I need you to do it right now. You can't do that.
Right.
Well, grow a hair out of the middle of your head. You can't do that.
Right.
The hair only grows by the will of Allah. So he didn't say grow it.
Okay.
Most people translate it as saying grow your beard
Okay.
and cut this. Because he did talk about cutting this, but we'll come to that.
Okay.
What he said was leave it alone.
Okay.
Now, suppose somebody is from Malaysia,
Right.
Indonesia,
Naturally.
China. They
Right.
don't have heavy facial hair. Maybe 2 or 3 strands coming down. That's it.
Right.
How am I going to grow a beard? It doesn't grow. So
Right.
that's why when brothers will ask me, am I commanded in Islam to grow the beard? I say no. You're not commanded to grow it.
Right. Because you can't.
You are not. And they'll say, well, make dua for me that I'll grow my beard. I say, brother, that's shirk. That's making partners with Allah. You want me to give you a power that we don't have.
Right.
But I will make dua to Allah that after He grows your beard,
Right.
you'll stop cutting it off.
That's the key. Leave it alone.
Yeah, because that's what He said. Just leave it alone.
Right.
And then, we'll come to the second part, cut this. Remove this facial hair off of your face.
Okay.
It makes sense?
Yeah, perfect. That's our formula. Because people, that's interesting that he said that. Because people also have some confusion, Sheikh Yusuf. They say, okay, Sheikh Yusuf has a big beard. Malik has a big beard. Some people have small beards. Some Muslims have no beards. So I think it creates some confusion amongst non-Muslims and Muslims as well. It's like asking Robbins, which beard should I pick? Which flavor should I take?
Well, Malik, I think this is a good chance for us to talk to the audience. Somebody in the audience might have something to say about this.
All right, go ahead, brother.
Go ahead, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum
My
salam.
name is Hussein Din Alam. I'm a student at the Faculty of Sharia and Law English at Al Azhar University. With regard to the beard and the mustache thing, or when it comes to Islam, can it be viewed as a label for Muslims? This is one part of my question. And also, what is the reward? Is there is a reward for growing or for grooming a beard in Islam or not?
Two-part question. First question, Muslims are labeled by their beards. Is this true or not? I think it's true.
Absolutely.
Of course.
A lot of Muslims themselves label each other according to, he has a big lehya, he has a big beard, mashallah, mashallah. I remember when I first came to Islam, it was even stronger back then. If a guy had a big beard, oh, wow, his knowledge must be great. You know?
This is a mistake that we make, I think, sometimes. But we recognize each other.
But check this out. Today, emphasis maybe, well, at least 20 years ago, was really heavy on the beard.
Okay.
Because whoever was shaving it off, they considered he has no knowledge. I actually heard that. They say he has no knowledge, he has no lehya, no knowledge.
Oh, okay.
Well, my God, does that mean if I cut off my hair,
My knowledge
my
is
brain falls out the window or goes out of my ear or something? What are you talking about? No, so it's not right. Also, for instance, in some countries, especially in that time, if a man grew the beard and went out in the street, he could be arrested.
Right.
Because Muslim countries were under some very heavy regimes
Right.
that were afraid of some fundamentalists who would try to take over their government or do some great revolution against them, which happened anyway without the beards. But the point is that the beard was a symbol of following Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay.
That is the point. So some scholars ruled that you could cut it off because of this oppression. You might get killed, you might go to jail, have
a
serious
concession.
problem. So they gave themselves this ruling.
This concession.
I can cut my own beard and I give myself the ruling that I can cut it.
Okay.
Right here, and where we're sitting right now, they ruled that. And they said it's okay to cut it off because we're oppressed and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And they did it, and other students did it, and so many people started doing it to the extent that some people said it's just a sunnah.
Yeah, people have to be careful, Sheikh, about that language because I get so offended when people say, this is just a sunnah, as if we just throw something away the Prophet gave us. This is just a sunnah. What kind of language is that?
Actually, in the Quran, Allah says, Ati Allah wa Ati Rasul, and He says that the Ati to the Rasul, the obedience to Allah, obedience to the Prophet, that if you obey the Prophet, you obey the law.
Right, okay.
So disobedience to the Prophet would be what?
Disobedience to Allah.
To Allah.
Yeah,
so you don't really have a choice on that. That's not right to say just a sunnah. But anyway, so now we're talking about how people perceive that.
Okay.
And they saw us, big beard, big knowledge. And some people put that on me. They thought, he must be really knowledgeable because he got all the hair on his face. But did you know, at the time of my great-great-grandfathers who were in Spain back in the 1200s, 1300s, the emphasis wasn't on the beard because everybody had beards. The emphasis then was on how big his imama was, his turban. Have you ever seen those drawings and pictures of those huge turbans that look like if you pull your head forward, you're going to break your neck?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, they had those huge turbans on their heads. Even some of them had jewels hanging from them and designs and garnets and all of this kind of stuff, like there was some kind of a crown.
The big sultan, like this.
Sultan with his imama or his big cloth helmet. But did you know what the... I'm sorry to get off the subject a bit. Do you know what that cloth really represented?
It's something to do with the burial, the funeral.
Yes.
Is that right?
It was a coffin. Coffin.
A coffin.
Coffin.
Right.
Which we call today coffin.
Oh, subhanAllah.
Because it was what you were wrapped in when you were buried. So they carried on their head enough cloth that if they died, you could wrap them in it. That's what it was.
SubhanAllah.
At the time of the Prophet, though, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they didn't.
They
did not have enough to bury him. It's very clear from the hadith of one of the companions who used to wear the best of clothes. When he was not Muslim, when he came to Islam, his parents cut him off completely. He had rags to wear, and when he was killed in a battle, they didn't have enough to even cover his body. They would put the sheet over the top part, it wouldn't cover his bottom part. And they would put it over the bottom part, it wouldn't cover the top part. So that, and we're off our subject of the lehi, I'm just talking about this, so to give you an idea how people would put an emphasis on something that really isn't the essence of Islam. My beard is not the essence of my Islam. I'm trying to follow the Sunnah. I am leaving it alone as best I can. And Allah knows best what's in people's hearts. But don't measure a person by their hair.
I couldn't agree with you more, Sheikh Yusuf. However, you are from the United States, as I am. In the beard, mashallah, it is handy in a way because you recognize other Muslims in public, don't you?
Well, what about though? I know a lot of people have a big beard, huge beard, and he's not a Muslim.
People think I ride Harley Davidsons. They say, Malik, are you a bike rider? I say, I really, people see my beard and they think I ride bicycles, Harley Davidson motorcycles, which is kind of funny. Sheikh, no.
I was with one of our brothers, a scholar, American scholar who came to Islam, Salam Morgan. You may have heard of him out in California.
Perhaps.
Salam Morgan and I both have these long white beards. And somebody else was with us, and I was teasing, and I said on the program, we are not former members of ZZ Top.
Sheikh, that is really funny. Hold that thought, you guys. We're going to be back for more good answers. Assalamu alaikum.
I am a Muslim, Islam my deen, Allah my Lord, His word Quran, Muhammad Prophet, praise be upon.
It's welcome again from me, from your host Ismail Bullock, and from your host
Gabriel Romani. The parents have to encourage their kids to get married, and at the same time support them.
What many people don't understand is that seeking knowledge in itself is ibadah. And Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he says, لَأَنْ أَطْلُبُ الْعِلْمَ سَاعَةً أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ مِنْ أَلْفِ رَكَعَةٍ. That I seek knowledge for an hour is better and more beloved than ألف ركعة, which means 1,000 rak'ah.
The real meaning of La ilaha illallah is not there's no God but God. لا معبود بحق إلا الله. That is, if you want to note it down, that is the real meaning of La ilaha illallah. There is none worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I remember as a Christian, when I was a Christian before, they have this whole issue of your cross. You have to wear your cross. This will protect you, and if it breaks, something wrong will happen to you. And the icons, and put an icon in your wallet.
Islam my deen, Allah my Lord, Muhammad Prophet. Praise be upon.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Good Answer. Sheikh Yusuf Estes, you gave us a good answer to the first part of the question, but what about the second part of the question? The brother asked, what is the reward for growing the beard?
What's the reward for growing the beard?
Right.
Well, there is a reward. Actually, anytime you follow what the Prophet ﷺ has ordered you to do,
Okay.
you will be rewarded because you are obeying Allah.
Okay.
In obedience to Allah, this is always a good reward for whatever you did. If
Okay.
it's sincerity, I grew my beard, I didn't really feel comfortable with it. Maybe people were picking on me, teasing me.
Right.
Maybe it was scratchy feeling, maybe
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Maybe it gets in my way. Like, for instance, for us, we wear these microphones sometimes.
Right.
You go like this, you hear cut, they have to shoot it all over,
And-
So there were problems, but I'm willing to endure that because I was told by my Prophet ﷺ to leave my beard alone.
And Sheikh, my grandmother says, Malik, you're such a handsome young boy. Would you please shave that ugly beard? I say, I'm sorry, Grandma. I know. Thank you for calling me handsome, but we have to leave the beard.
Well, that's her definition because I would ask the question the opposite way. You're saying you want, some women say, I want my husband to be smooth-faced.
Right.
Smooth-faced. I ask them directly. So I'm going to wonder about a woman who wants her husband to look like another woman.
Right. Of course, it's
The
excellent point.
beard distinguishes us from the ladies immediately.
Right.
Because today, if you're going down the street in Cairo, you see men wearing a long dress, don't you?
Right.
And from a distance, he's even wearing a scarf on his head. You
Right.
might say, is that a lady or a man? But you
Yes.
get close, the guy's got a huge beard. Oh, okay, that's not a lady.
Yes.
Unless it's a bearded lady at the circus, I don't know. But for the most part,
Right.
big beard distinguish us. Come on,
Yeah, of
guys, what
course.
are we talking about here?
Yeah, of course.
And when are you going to shave it off to start with? What is wrong with what Allah gave you?
Yeah.
But we were instructed to cut this over the lip.
Okay.
Well, because we don't want it going down into our food. We don't
Yes.
need it to... Another thing, by the way, when you communicate with people, they watch your lips.
Right.
I do that all the time to be sure I understood words. But if the hair is growing over it, I can't tell what you're saying.
Right, of course.
So these are just small points.
Yeah, mashallah. Another good answer.
But as a matter of fact, there's no specific reward for growing a beard.
Okay.
There's nothing in Islam that said, if you grow your beard this long, you'll get this reward,
X, Y,
or
and
that
Z.
long, or you're a better person than somebody else. Because if that were true, then what about the one who is unable to grow the beard?
Sheikh Yusuf Estes, another good answer. But we have another good question from our studio audience.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
My name is Ahmed.
Ahmed?
The question is, what shall I do if my mother wants me to cut my beard?
Excellent question, Ahmed. What should he do if his mother wants him to shave his beard?
You know, our sisters in Islam have the same problem. They want to wear hijab, and some parents are telling them, no, I don't want you to wear the cover.
Really?
Yeah. And same for the brothers. The parents are telling them, no, don't grow the beard. We need you to look normal. Please don't look different. Don't distinguish
Right,
yourself.
right.
But we've been ordered by the Prophet ﷺ to
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
distinguish ourselves from the non-believers. And he ordered us to leave it alone. So you have to obey your parents, except if it's disobedience to Allah and His Messenger.
Okay.
This we find in Surah number 31. It's called Luqman, Surah Luqman. Now Luqman was a person who was very righteous, and he was giving advice to his son. And I
Okay.
think it's in verse 14 or 16, right in there, you'll start reading this. A few verses, about 10 verses, all about his advice to his son. And one of the key things he said, worship God alone without any partners. Obey your parents is like the very first commandment after that. After worship to Allah, just like in the 10 Commandments. Everything all about no God but God, no idols,
Right,
don't take God's name in vain, remember the Sabbath, keep it holy. And then, very clearly,
Obey your
honor your parents.
Okay.
Honor your parents. Honor their desire. They want you to do something, you do it unless it is disobedience to Allah. Then you can't do it, but you still be kind and gentle with them. You still treat them in the best way, even if they're not Muslims. So you tell her, Mom, I'm ready to do what you like, except I can't disobey Allah and His Messenger. And Mom, your mom's a Muslim, so you will tell her, Mom, you're going to get reward because maybe you're seeing something in a different way, but you're going to be patient and you're going to accept, like me, we're going to accept to do what Allah wants us to do. He's the one growing it, and I don't have any permission to cut it. Now, there is one thing, though, brother, that if hair grows in a weird way on your face, like a big patch of hair growing here, nothing over here. Looks weird.
Right.
The scholars ruled that you could remove that.
Okay, that patch.
That patch that doesn't look right. If it's a weird color or something like that, it comes out here. It's like real white, and everywhere else it's black.
There are some concessions.
But check with the scholar on anything before you do it. But there are rules that are overriding so that you can have an easier life. So if somebody has, like, one side of their face is growing heavy beard, but the other side not, they'll find a way to get a balance out of that, and talk to your local scholars, imams, and they can help you with it.
By the way, Sheikh Yusuf, did you have a beard before you embraced Islam?
Before I embraced Islam, when I was very young, very, very young, I decided to become like a Buddhist. And I let my hair grow, and I wore the happy coat, the little outfit that they wear, and I started doing a lot of the meditation stuff.
Were you
like
part of the hippie movement in the 60s, Sheikh? If you don't mind me asking.
Way before that. I was laughing at those guys. No, I go way back to the beatnik era of the 1950s.
MashaAllah, excellent.
I've watched all of these things come and go, these fad after fad. And by the way, some people with beards is a fad too.
Right.
But when we were talking about this, and when the parents are telling you to disobey Allah, you have to be kind and gentle with them, but be firm on it. I have to do what I have to do.
Excellent.
Now, they have ruled in some cases certain kind of jobs that require a man to reduce the hair, facial hair, that they've allowed to do that. In some of the military, they said it interfered with the oxygen mask. But I know pilots who flew the big jets who had beards, and they said it didn't bother me, but I'm not going to give that as an answer. I'm just saying that there are rulings you want to look into. And also, if a man shaves off his beard, this is very important, don't rule him out as some kind of non-believer, or that he's a bad person. You don't know his reason. He may have a skin problem. He may have something that's a big problem at home. We don't know his condition. Or he may not understand that it is an obligation to leave it alone. Don't get into that with people. That's not our business.
Of course. That's an excellent point. Sheikh Yusuf, you know, before I became Muslim, I did not have a beard. And I thought people that had beards were very strange and they looked very ugly. But now, subhanAllah, as a Muslim, I feel honored to have this beard. And I would actually never shave it for the life of me. Which is funny when we see many Muslims are shy to grow it, when they should take pride and be confident that this is part of our religion.
Yeah, that's true, but I want to give an excuse to all the Muslims that today we don't live in a full Islamic state anywhere in the world. The true Islamic law also cannot be implemented for that reason. And also, we don't have proper leadership that we could really look to and say, okay, I can take what this man says wholesale across the board. Every single leader or imam that we have has certain question marks that go with them, and that's why you find doubt amongst the people. And certainly we're not perfect. We're trying our best to show Islam in the most balanced and responsible way so that all of us, Muslim and non-Muslim, can live together in a better environment. We want everybody to have a chance to know what's Islam and then have a chance to accept or reject it on their own. That's the real truth. Our beards give us a chance to open up a subject. Why do you have to grow a beard? Okay, fine, you open the subject. Thank you for asking me about my religion. In Islam, we have the truth, we have the proof, etc., as I mentioned in other programs. So I want to be sure that I understand that the beard doesn't make me holy, doesn't make me righteous. But leaving it alone means I'm at least trying to obey my Prophet. It's a reminder to me and an invitation to others to ask questions if they like.
Of course. And we see other religions, they do grow beards. However, as you mentioned, the Muslim has a specific formula, which is to trim the mustache and to let the beard grow. What can we say about the other religions that we've seen, Hindus and Christians? They also grow their beards, don't they?
Well, I would like to even look at the Christian religion, because some of the orthodoxy, if you look to, I think you're from Greek Orthodox.
Yeah, Greek Orthodoxy, They have big beards, big mustaches.
I sat, by the way, when I was in the United Nations Peace Summit, I was sitting right next to the Greek Orthodox.
Oh, wow, okay.
The Greek Orthodox are sitting right next to me with their full regalia, their headgear, and their big cross, and huge beards. I would look at them and say, MashaAllah, that's a beard. You ought to talk about a beard. This guy's got a beard, man. You can make a rope out of that thing.
Like a bird's nest.
But in talking with them, though, I realize that just like us, that they're just normal people, and
Right.
having a beard doesn't make somebody necessarily holy.
Right.
From any religion, but it is a distinctive thing. I mean, you
Right,
notice
right.
it.
Yeah, you do notice it. Yeah.
But also, we jokingly talked about ZZ Top, in
laugh,
one of our
Sheikh.
programs about
Right,
this
right.
beard thing. But if somebody has his beard fashioned a certain way, maybe he puts like ribbons in it or ties it up or
Right,
twists it
right,
a certain way,
right.
and his hair is down real long, and he's got a motorcycle jacket on, I'm not going to think he's a Muslim necessarily.
Maybe I got one of those Harley leather jackets, right?
I'm not going to think he's Orthodox priest either. So again, it goes back to how you take care of it. But I want to come to something when we were talking about the reward that you get. The reward you get with this lehya.
Okay.
Did you know the Prophet ﷺ, he
Sallallahu.
told us to give your beard its haqq, give it its rights. And what he meant by that was you take olive oil and you groom it, you keep it clean, you groom it, and it's very beautiful, and you take care of it. And the more you do this, then you're getting reward with Allah.
Another good answer. And you guys stay tuned for more good answers. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
I am a Muslim, Islam my deen, Allah my Lord, His word Quran, Muhammad Prophet, praise be upon Him. I'm a Muslim for all of time. Look at me now, family around my deathbed. I know not when Allah will call me home. The life I led, oh what a blessed thing. As death comes to me, these words I will sing. I am a Muslim, Islam my deen, Allah my Lord, His word Quran, Muhammad Prophet, praise be upon Him. I'm a Muslim for all